Today, we're diving into a really fascinating ancient spiritual system. It's called Sethianism, and it has a pretty radical idea at its core that our reality isn't some divine gift, but actually a cosmic mistake.
I mean, think about it. It's a question that everyone has probably asked at some point. If there's a perfect, all-good God who created everything, then why is our world filled with so much suffering, chaos, and just imperfection? Where did things go so wrong? Well, it's a huge mystery, and one ancient group thought they had it all figured out.
So, to solve this great puzzle, an early Gnostic movement, the Sethians, came up with an answer that basically turned conventional religion completely on its head. So, who were these Sethians? Well, they popped up around the 1st century, and they were what's known as a Gnostic group. For them, salvation wasn't about just having blind faith or following a bunch of rules. No, it was all about gnosis. That's a Greek word for knowledge. And we're not talking about book smarts here. We're talking about a deep, intuitive, spiritual insight into how reality really works.
The very core of their belief system is this idea of a counterfeit creation. Their answer to why the world is so messed up is actually pretty simple. The God who made it was messed up too.
See, the Sethians believed there wasn't just one God. They saw the divine as being split in two. Way out there, far beyond our reality, was a supreme, perfect, and totally unknowable being. But, and this is the key, that being did not create our world. Nope. That job fell to a lesser, kind of arrogant entity they called the Demiurge, who basically botched the job and made a flawed copy of the true spiritual realm. And what does that mean for us? It means this physical universe that we see and touch and live in, with all its good and all its bad. It's not the real deal. It's an illusion, a faulty copy. And even more, it's a kind of prison for the little divine sparks that are trapped inside each of us. Now, this idea of a shadow reality might sound a little familiar if you've ever studied Greek philosophy. The Sethians were heavily influenced by Plato, especially his allegory of the cave. You know, the story about prisoners who are trapped and can only see shadows on a wall? Well, the Sethians believed that was basically us, all of humanity, mistaking these shadows for what's actually real. Okay, so if you're trapped in a counterfeit world, how do you get out? For the Sethians, the answer wasn't prayer or rituals, it was a path of knowledge. And we're back to that key term, gnosis. Remember, this isn't about memorizing facts. It's a huge personal revelation. It's that aha moment when you realize that your true self isn't your body. It's not your personality. It's a tiny fragment of that supreme God. You realize your true home is the spiritual realm, not this material one. But here's the thing. Humanity couldn't do this on its own. The Sethians believed a divine messenger was sent down to wake everybody up. And for them, that figure was Seth. Yep, the 3rd son of Adam and Eve from the Bible. They saw him as a guide, a teacher, who came to remind us of where we really come from and to show us the way back to the true God. This path they laid out is really a process of inner transformation. It all starts with waking up and realizing the world is a kind of prison. The next step is to reject the authority of its flawed creator. From there, you seek that gnosis, that knowledge of your own divine self. And the final step? Transcendence, total liberation from this flawed reality. And this wasn't just some spoken tradition they passed around. These teachings were written down in secret texts. In fact, a lot of them were lost for centuries and only rediscovered in the 20th century, in places like the Nag Hammadi Library in Egypt. A really important one, the Apocryphon of John, lays out this entire cosmic drama in stunning detail. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this is all just weird, ancient history. But these ideas never really vanished. Let's take a look at the modern echoes of Sethianism and see just how this radical worldview has actually survived all the way into our own time. So to see its influence, you have to look at where it came from. Sethianism showed up in the 1st century, and it was this incredible blend of ideas. It drew from Platonism, with its concept of higher spiritual realms, and from Hermeticism, with its focus on secret, esoteric knowledge. So while the original movement eventually faded out, its core concepts just kept getting reborn. In the 19th century, a movement called Theosophy really echoed Sethianism with its talk of secret knowledge and enlightened masters. And today, there's a whole modern Gnosticism revival, where people are reinterpreting these ancient teachings for our current world. And these ideas have attracted some pretty famous people. The founder of Theosophy, Helena Blavatsky, was completely immersed in them.
And even the author, Aldous Huxley, explored Gnostic themes of breaking free from a controlled, fake reality in his legendary novel, Brave New World. So, let's bring this all back home. What is the big takeaway from this ancient, pretty radical spiritual path? Well, it brings us right back to that huge question we started with. And here it is. This is the heart of the Sethian answer. For them, you can't solve the problem of a flawed world with things like politics or new technology, because the world is broken by design. The solution isn't to try and fix the prison. The solution is to realize you're a prisoner in the first place and then find the key to get out. And that key, for them, is gnosis. And that leaves us with one final thought to ponder. The whole Sethian worldview really challenges us to ask, what if we've been looking for answers in all the wrong places? What if the escape from our problems and the discovery of the ultimate truth isn't something we need to find out there in the world, but something we just need to remember from deep inside ourselves?